Hello, Annoyance Twitch. Welcome to another edition of Schtick Live, right from our bedrooms, houses, to your bedrooms, houses, or wherever you are. We've been waiting all month, and we've got some awesome new killer comics. We're so excited. They're from all parts of the world, some old friends, new friends. It's going to be a blast. So I'm so excited that you guys are tuned in and ready to have some fun with us. Let's see if there's anything crazy I have to tell you. Comment in the chat. Anytime you like anyone that's performing, since obviously we'll only begin last from our other fellow comics here. We appreciate all the comments and all the LOLs and emojis, all that stuff. I'll pass them along to our amazing performers. I'm Seth Payne, your host with the most here. Let's see. I think that's all the housekeeping notes. Thank you, Annoyance, for hosting us. Please donate to them. They will hopefully be opening soon, hopefully very soon. Let's see. I just got back from Florida. I'm fully vaxxed up. So I went down to Florida, visited my Florida family, which is pretty fun. Saw my nephew, hadn't seen him in a very long time. I am an uncle. Very typical Florida person, I'll say. They chew, wear Oakleys, drink a lot of Mountain Dew, have a truck, and he's only 2 years old. So it's kind of nuts. Kid fucks more than me, that's for sure. My brother, when I was down there, was like, the rest of the country thinks we're a joke down here in Florida. There's just like people see us a certain way. And I was like, dude, they don't see you at all because everybody wears camo down here. Am I right? A lot of camo. I'm from Buffalo, though, originally. Buffalo, New York. Give up for Buffalo. Anybody been there before? Hopefully. Cool. It's a unique place. Rick James is actually from Buffalo, New York. I don't know if you guys know that or not. He's from there, and he's actually buried there. His plot of land, you can go visit it. I've been there before. There's a super creek right next to it. A super creek. Super creaking. Okay. Wow. All right. We're having fun. So Buffalo has a weird reputation. I feel. Let me give you an example. So I was down in New Orleans, the Big Easy, a couple years ago, about 5 years ago. And it's a fun place. I was doing the tradition of going down there and just getting blackout drunk, day drinking on bourbon. And second day in, I'm with my buddy, also from Buffalo. We stop halfway through Bourbon at a place called The Swamp, which is a really fun place to visit. They got 3-for-1 drink deals, very aggressive. We're waiting to get in, and my buddy's getting his ID checked. And I'm just like soaking in the sun, and I'm like, I got that nice day buzz going on. I'm like, man, life's good. And then from behind me, I have somebody whisper in my ear at the same time, press something into my back and say, be cool. You're getting robbed right now. Don't cause a scene. I've got a knife at your back. Pull anything crazy, I will have to hurt you. Just pull your wallet out slow. No one gets hurt. So my automatic response, I've never been robbed before. I thought I was going to piss myself like 100%. And luckily didn't. But I started to reach shakily for my wallet. And the guy smacks me and goes, oh, man, I'm just fucking with you. He's the other security guard who likes to pretend to rob people. Fun little New Orleans tradition. So he does that. Like, look at this guy. He's going to piss himself, which is true. Other security guard goes, hey, man, don't mess with these guys. They're from Buffalo. He goes, oh, my God. Did not realize you're from Buffalo. Like, totally switched up the way he was talking to me. He's like, I apologize. Please go in. I don't even see your ID. Please drink on me. No motherfuckers from Buffalo are crazy and shit, biting people's dicks off. Okay. I don't know what information he got, but I played it cool. And I was just like, yeah, man, we haven't eaten all day. I'm just like rocked in there. I don't know where this rumor's from, but I want to keep it going. I'm thinking I'll change my name to Richard Payne. Dick Payne, Tricky Dicky Payne, biting people's dicks down in NOLA. I can get a tattoo for each dick that I've bitten, tiny little dick tattoo on my face. Okay. we'll keep the legend alive, I think. I took a kink test recently to find out how kinky I was. You guys can do this. Maybe you have already. Spoiler alert, 99% vanilla. Very, very boring. Like missionary in the dark, no eye contact. Good stuff. For the link that normally shows you, like, if you're into BDSM, here's a link of what it's like. It just gave me a link to Crocs.com. Jokes on them. I got a sick pair of Crocs. Crocs stay on in the bedroom. Sport mode. Okay. Speaking of kinkiness, have you guys ever thought about which Disney character you would have sex with if you could? I have a lot. Anyone want to offer up? Any of the other comics want to offer up your Disney crush in here for the
Prince
intro?
Eric.
What'd you say?
Prince Eric.
Prince Eric.
Yeah.
Classic. And technically humanoid, which is good. Cool. Okay. So, I mean, normally at shows I get some like freaky ones. Last one, someone like yelled out Simba, and I was like, whoa, all right. Fair enough. Yeah, I don't know. I thought about it, and I dug into the Disney vault, if you will, back to a classic called The Sword and the Stone. Anyone else here see The Sword and the Stone? It's great. It's an old animated movie from the 90s, I believe. And it's basically King Arthur being taught by Merlin, just like lessons on life. They turn into animals, and it's a good time. And in one scene, they turn into squirrels. And there's a young girl squirrel who's really into young King Arthur squirrel, and is just like trying to get after it adamantly. And King Arthur's like, no, you can't be with me. I'm a boy. And needless to say, he tells Merlin to turn him into a boy to prove that he is in fact not a squirrel. The squirrel freaks out, cries, and they just leave her on a branch. And that's how that scene ends. I would have sex with that squirrel, you guys. That would be my crush, I think. That's it. So I'll leave you guys with this. My girlfriend is into a lot more kinkier stuff than me. She wants to do the choking in the bedroom, but every time I go to do it, it scares the hell out of me, and I can only hear the SVU theme. It's just like dun dun. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, I just imagine like Agent Stabler being over the body and being like, she was obviously strangled to death with weak hands. Oddly wearing a squirrel mask. My God. Wait, there's Croc blood prints. That's out the door. They follow him out to like the doorman who's like, I saw the whole thing. They're like, what? And he's like, yeah, he bit me in the dick as he ran away. He strikes again. He bit off more than he could chew this time. Okay. I don't want to turn into like a newsy at the end. I need to watch more SVU for that joke to hit, I think. That's my set, you guys. I've been Seth Payne. We have so many more comics. Thank you so much. So many more comics tonight that are hilarious and fun. And speaking of hilarious and fun, let's bring our first comic out tonight. Jason Fliegel. Oh, yeah. There's some music for you, buddy.
All right. Yeah, I remember that episode I asked you. I think I saw it last week, so good stuff. Yeah. I am Jason Fliegel, and I tell you, it's been a rough week. I'm getting older is the problem. I just turned 40 in July of 2014. Still counts. And like, I got to face it, I'm middle-aged now, and honestly, calling me middle-aged, excessively optimistic. Like this is not making it to 90. Bet on the under there, people. Middle age for me was sometime during the Obama administration, I think. Yeah, here we got a lot of younger people watching. I will give you a heads up. The worst thing about getting to be middle-aged is that you start getting injured for no reason whatsoever. And if you don't believe me, find someone who's middle-aged and ask them about the last time they threw their back out. They will have a story to tell you. That story is going to end right when you think it's getting started. Yeah, you'll be like, oh, you threw your back out. how'd that happen? And they'll go, well, I got home from work and I took my coat off. and I was in bed for 3 days. That's the story. That's the whole thing. Like women my age are in the club singing, my neck, my back, I need to go lie down. I'm kidding. The only club women my age are in is Sam's Club. That's it. I even worse are the actual injuries. Like I sprained my ankle playing football this past fall. I was checking my fantasy lineup and I tripped over the curb, but it still counts as a football injury. And here's the thing: when you're in your 40s and you get injured, you can't help every injury but think like, oh my God, is this the one? Is this the injury that's gonna let me predict the weather? Like I don't need a trick knee that tells me when it's gonna rain. I have an app for that. It's not necessary. I don't know. As I get older, I find myself more and more thinking, what would Jesus do? And I see my rabbi is watching Don't Panic. Jesus is a guy I knew in high school. Yeah, me and Jesus used to cruise around town. He had this great tricked out car, and this had it all. Spoilers, rims, 2 steering wheels. Jesus was my driver's ed instructor, which I loved. As a Jew, it's the only time in my life I ever get to say, Jesus, take the wheel. But the reason he's become a role model for me is Jesus just did not give a fuck, which is actually a bad quality in a driver's ed teacher, but that's a separate thing. But I'll give you an example. Like we're driving along one day and Jesus is like, hey man, pull into this parking lot. And I'm like, oh cool, is Jesus gonna teach me how to do donuts or drift the car or shift gears without stalling? Because I was a terrible driver. But instead, Jesus is like, no, you wait here in the car. I got to run into Sears and buy a present for my wife and one for my girlfriend, which is like, that is not giving a fuck, because he didn't care that he was supposed to be on the clock teaching me how to drive. He didn't care that he was modeling terrible relationship dynamics for impressionable 16-year-old me. And he didn't care that he was cheaping out on the gifts. At least go to Macy's, Jesus. But Jesus was not a ditch your student to buy gifts for your wife and your girlfriend at Macy's kind of guy, because he didn't give a fuck. That's the kind of energy I need in my life. I don't know. It's maybe it's hard for me because even though I'm getting older, I don't feel like I'm getting older, you know? Like I'm not walking around with a pocket full of Werther's originals to hand out to kids. Side note, Werther's, you don't need to specify originals. Nobody's out here trying to count. You're not Godiva, get over yourself. But like that's not where I am in life. But it did hit home to me the other day that I am getting older. So I went this weekend to buy a 6-pack of beer, and I go and I take my beer up to the register and I go to hand the clerk my ID, and he does not take my ID. Now instead he just looks at me, he goes, nah, you're cool, Pops. What the hell? He called me Pops. Oh my God, I was gonna kick his ass. But when I went to get my ID out of my wallet, I threw my back out. So hey you guys, I've been Jason Fliegel. That has been my time. Thank you so much.
Woo!
Keep it going for Jason, everybody. Oh yeah, we have so many more hilarious comics coming at you. Jason was all the way from the DMV area, and now we're going back over to Chi-Town with one of my dear comedy friends out here. Keep it going for Jillian Cardillo.
Woo! Hi. You're going to hear a lot of people talk about getting older tonight, apparently, because that's what I'm going to start by talking about, too. I am not in my 40s yet, but I'm a woman, so I expire sooner. I recently turned 36, and actually recently, like Saturday recently, so not 2014. And so I'm like that like jar of Worcestershire sauce in the back of your refrigerator. I've been expired for at least a year, according to men. And it's probably time to throw me out, but there aren't any better condiments right now for them. So turning 36, I got myself the traditional single woman over 35 present for my birthday. I signed up for a consultation for egg freezing, which is a big step in life. I've come with a new slogan for why I'm getting my eggs frozen. It's when your eggs mature faster than the men you want to date. But it's fine. I'm okay. I'm gonna be single forever, probably. I'm coming to terms with it. I have invitations to join several all-women communes as I age. I'm thinking this is gonna be like the Golden Girls, right? It's gonna be great. I really want to be a Blanche. Like, I aspire to be a Blanche, but I know I'm gonna be a Sophia. It's okay. This is what I imagine I'm going to be like when I get to that age. Picture it, Washington, D.C., 2021. A woman, fast approaching middle age, though still not bad looking, spends $10,000 to freeze her eggs and hope that Sebastian Stan, or let's be honest, at this point, a balding 40-year-old CPA, falls in love with her. That woman was me, Dorothy. And the moral is, I should have saved the money so we could have spent it on more cheesecake. Probably going to waste my money freezing these eggs. Oh, well. Speaking of Blanche, so I stole this from a woman who I saw doing another comedy. I'm not going to steal her joke, but I'm going to steal her idea. She said that she's 46 years old and she's going to do a 50 by 50 challenge. And you're like, what? She's going to lose 50 pounds, write 50 books. What's she going to do by 50? Nope. She's going to sleep with 50 new men by the age of 50. So, like, okay, all right. I'm going to be about to be 36. This was like a few weeks ago. And I'm like, I could do 40 by 40. It's important to have goals in life. So I'm going to set this as a new goal. And, I was thinking it's important. I did the math. It's one per month for all 4 years. Plus you get to take 2 months off a year. So around Christmas, where things are a little too busy, not so much swiping going on the Tinder, I like a plan that has built-in breaks. So this really works. So I reinstalled all the dating apps because, that's kind of necessary if you're going to do this. And I'm like, this is going to be easy. I have boobs. This is great. This isn't going to be easy. I don't know if any of you have been on dating apps trying to date men in their late 30s to early 40s recently, but this is not going to be easy. I'll just leave it at that. But so between relationships and trying to get a job, I wrote all these notes and I can't read my own writing and I have had a really long week. So this is all stuff I came up with a half hour ago. So please don't judge me too harshly as I try to figure out what the heck I wrote here. So sometimes I wish I could go back in time and go back to the 70s. And then you're like, wait, what? Why would you want to be a woman in the 70s? And it's like, because I would never have to apply for jobs. And that sounds really fulfilling right now as I'm like getting rejection after rejection. For jobs, I'm like, you know what? The idea of being a really unhappy housewife who takes a lot of antidepressants sounds a lot better than the idea of being a really unhappy woman trying to get a job taking a lot of antidepressants because so then I think about like never having to fill out a job application again. I'm like, yeah, take away my right to open a bank account without my husband's permission. That's a good trade-off, right? I don't have to fill out my work experience when I already attached a resume. Like, bring on Sweaty Bob from down the street when we have those parties when we're all swingers. Like, I can deal with Sweaty Bob. I never have to get another, like, thank you for applying, but we've gone with another candidate. You know what? I'll eat lime jello filled with hot dogs. It's okay. I could live in the recent past if it means never having to do this again. So just what I've realized anyway now is like, underemployed single 36-year-old is that LinkedIn is worse than Tinder because at least on Tinder you might get a hookup, before they ghost you.
Yeah, keep it going for Jillian, everybody! Oh yeah, we've got so many more good ones. It's hey, happy birthday to Jillian, by the way. Oh my gosh. It's awesome. Hopefully get to party with you before you move on to Boston and crush it up there and hopefully see it.
Hopefully.
Yeah, let's see. The hits just keep on coming, guys. Thanks for tuning in on Annoyance's Twitch. Like I said, if you have any extra cash and can throw it their way, they hugely appreciate it, and hopefully they will survive this crazy past year, because I'm ready to go back and see some live comedy. I'm sure you guys are too. In the meantime, we've got some killer, amazing virtual comedy coming in your face. And coming up next with that crazy energy is the one, the only, Greg Tindale.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Seth. So I have a 7-year-old daughter and a 3-year-old son, and I've been around my kids a lot over the pandemic. And it is totally true that you become the 5 people you spend the most time with, because I am totally becoming my kids. The other night, my son said, "I don't want to go to bed. I just want to play and eat." And I said, "Mason, I get it, because all I want to do is play and eat too. We should buy more action figures and pizza." My monthly action figure and pizza budget is currently out of control. I should be leasing a Toyota Camry with that money, like a nice Camry with a sunroof and heated seats. It's a lot of money. But I am turning into my kids. My son loves dinosaurs. It's been nothing but dinosaurs for months, but I am totally invested in this. We found a documentary on Disney Plus called Bizarre Dinosaurs. You can go look at it now if you want. And it has paleontologists guessing about dinosaur evolution. Now, here's the fun fact. One of the paleontologists believes that Tyrannosaurus Rex had his little arms to tickle its T-Rex partner while having sex. This is from a documentary on Disney Plus that I pay a monthly fee to have access to, that teaches my kids that T-Rexes are into tickle play. So I wonder, what other hot takes does the Disney documentary team have for me? Buzz and Woody are into kink and fetish. Rapunzel is into Brazilian waxes. Lady and the Tramp don't like doggy style. Again, with the dinosaurs, my son loves Jurassic Park, the toys. I'm super invested. And there's an app that tells you all of the dinosaur names. So when I was a kid, there was 4 dinosaurs. There was T-Rex, Stegosaurus, Triceratops, and Brontosaurus. That was it. There was no more. Then out of nowhere, they changed Brontosaurus to Brachiosaurus, and then added 1,000 new dinosaurs. There's just way too many dinosaurs now. One of the dinosaurs on the app is named Albertosaurus. Albertosaurus.
Cool.
That means that someone just took a real name, Alberto, and added Saurus to the end. And that's a bold move. That's a real bold move. Not many dinosaurs are named after people. I know an Alberto. He fixes air conditioners, and he is not a dinosaur. You know, call me traditional, but I don't think a dinosaur should be allowed to have a human name. It's Stegosaurus, not Stegmanosaurus. Were the other paleontologists upset when Alberto named the dinosaur after himself? They were like, "Hey, Alberto, what should we name this one?" And he was like, "I've got the perfect name." I found a YouTube video that says dinosaurs weren't discovered until the 1800s. And that means that our founding fathers, the American Revolution, none of those people knew about dinosaurs. which is kind of crazy to think about. So I like to reimagine the musical Hamilton is about discovering dinosaurs. And it would go something like this. My name is Alexander Hamilton. My name is Alexander Hamilton. And there's a million things I haven't seen, like dinosaurs. What are dinosaurs? And then the Schuyler sisters come in and they're like, you will never be fossilized. You will never be fossilized. But my wife recently set up a play date with another family. And I haven't talked to an adult outside the house like in months. So I'm like, cool, like let's do this. So I get there and it's just me, the kids, and this other mom, which is cool. And she goes into the house for a minute and comes back out with 2 puppets and lays them on the table. Then she picks one up and it was like a mermaid puppet. And she starts talking to the kids as the puppet. And it's like, it's all fun. But then I'm like looking around, I'm like, who is the second puppet for? Like, am I supposed to pick up this other puppet? Because that's a bold move, right? Like ambushing someone with a puppet. Essentially, she was like, fuck you, you're a puppeteer now. But I'm so desperate for adult contact that I'm like, fuck it. If it's going to be like through a puppet, like, let's go. Like, what's the puppet's name? Pierre? Sure, I can do a French accent. And it got real Sesame Street real quick over there. It was a pretty epic puppet session. But before I finish up, I just want to warn you all about this kid named Richard at the park that my kids go to. This little first grade asshole is diabolical. Richard is the kid that everyone is always chasing, but he likes it in some perverse way. Like Richard loves the drama. So he's like throwing sand and pulling tree branches off trees and stealing toys. I saw him steal a kid's toy and just drop it in a trash can. He didn't even want to play with it. He just didn't want anyone else to play with it. You know, some Richards just want to watch the world burn. One day at the park, Richard walks up to me and he hands me a little monster truck toy that I assumed was my son because my son has the toy. So I get home and I go to put the monster truck in our toy bin, and our monster truck is already there. Richard gave me some other kid's toy that he knew my family had. This little baby teeth having fuck made me an accomplice in his stolen toy ring. I'm in so deep with Richard right now, I couldn't even get out if I wanted. But it's a good thing that all I like to do is eat and play. So it works out. So thank you. That was my time.
Yeah.
You go for Greg, everybody. Oh man, Richard sounds like a real piece of work. If you see that kid, push him into some leaves. I don't know. I don't hang out at parks yet. Maybe one day when I have some kids. Until then, with this stash, I'm not going anywhere close, you guys. Okay. Let's see. We're moving right along with so much more awesome virtual comedy coming in your face. Coming up next is the hilarious, the one and only. Actually, I should preface this by saying the co-creator of the original Schtick that's still going on out in DC and maybe in other places of the world. Who knows? It's limitless, you guys. Give it up for the one, the only Elizabeth Fulton.
Woo.
Thanks, Seth. I feel like the way you introduced that, we're like expected to franchise Schticks, which we are very open to. So please reach out.
I don't know why I said
But I've been really hesitant to do stand-up virtually, and I think it's because I feel like communicating over Zoom highlights some of my weaknesses. It's very obvious that I only own 2 sweatshirts. I have very poor overhead lighting and a very disappointing laptop camera. And I have just a complete inability to control my facial expressions. And what's worse is now I can see my own facial expressions, so I feel more like liable for them. And I feel like there was like a pleasant naivety to not being able to see my own face. So I've recognized that I have two main facial expressions. I've got uninterested and I have a resting bitch face. And even before the pandemic, people have told me I've had a resting bitch face. And honestly, my response was thank you. I've trained my face from a very young age to look unhelpful. I don't want to be confused at all for approachable. I remember a time before the pandemic, I was in a movie theater bathroom and I was washing my hands and a little girl walked up to me and she told me that her toilet wasn't flushing. And I couldn't decide what upset me more, that she thought I was the most helpful person to approach in this scenario or that she thought I worked in a movie theater bathroom. But I've noticed since working from home, we've been able to avoid putting on pants during work meetings, which is nice. Restaurants have found a way to convince consumers that buying a to-go brunch is superior to having a bottle of champagne or orange juice just delivered through Instacart. But for some reason, we haven't found a better way to break the ice than by sharing fun facts. So I'm going to state the obvious, but we all know that fun facts aren't fun. And so I want to ask everyone, why do we keep asking people for them? I feel like the word fun has a positive connotation and the word fact also is positive. And so we like fun, we like facts, but we don't like fun facts. So I just think we should find just some other way to break the ice. I remember my first memory of sharing a fun fact. I was 15 and I was a camp counselor. And on the third day of camp, we decided to sit all the campers in a circle and go around and say some fun facts because it was time to get to know each other. And so we finally got to this one kid and he shared his fun fact, which was, I have lice. But the real fun fact we learned that day was that it takes 3 days to give an entire camp lice. I started a new job just before the pandemic, which is also a really strange time to start a job. I don't recommend it. But it was just enough time for my coworkers in person to ask me to introduce myself and to share a fun fact about myself. So I chose to say I perform stand-up comedy. And in the back of the room, I heard a vice president yell, "Prove it." So apparently I get heckled at both of my jobs. But I feel like the fun fact route you choose says more about you than the actual fun fact. So you have the people who choose to brag. So if I were to brag, I might choose the time that an official Twitter account for the Yellow Wiggle liked my tweet about how I only watched the documentary about the first female Yellow Wiggle because I thought it was Emma Watson, but her name is Emma Watkins. I also might choose the time that I ran into Bill Nye at Bethany Beach in Delaware, and he introduced himself to me, which retrospectively makes me think it might not have been Bill Nye. Or I could talk about the time that I got a $15 gift card from Caribou Coffee because I fell on their rug, even though it was my fault that I wore flip-flops in the snow. Those are examples of brag fun facts, but there are also sad fun facts. So you can think you're being humble and quirky, but you realize halfway through that it's just sad, but it's too late to pivot, which is honestly probably my brand. But for me, it might be the time I signed up for band in elementary school and I wanted to play the flute, but my music teacher told me that my fingers were too fat. So he made me choose the clarinet. It has bigger holes apparently.
Wow.
I know, that's just sad. It's just sad. It could also be the time that I auditioned for the all-state band playing the clarinet and I cried during the audition because I didn't know how to read sheet music. But I still got offered this spot because there were only 4 spots and only 4 people auditioned. It also could be the time that my parents tried to return the clarinet that they were renting. But the music store said that there was only $20 left on the rental until it was there. So now we're stuck with the clarinet. But I feel like the first fun fact always sets the tone. And I feel like you never want to be the first one because you have to decide if you're going to be sharing that we won a spelling bee in the 4th grade or if we're going to admit that we've done whippets. And also one of those two is true about me. And all I'll say about the other one is that I was robbed. Dough is spelled D-O-U-G-H. And not all of us thought to ask to hear the word in a sentence for the context clue that it was a female deer. But thank you so much. I've been Elizabeth Fulton. That's my time.
Woo! Yeah.
Keep it going for Elizabeth, everybody. Oh, yeah. Okay, and we are moving along. Oh, man, it's so great to see Elizabeth again. What was I going to say? You haven't done this in like a year, right? Is it a year?
Yeah.
It's crazy. That's awesome. Another round.
Thank you.
It's crazy. It's crazy getting back into it.
Yeah.
It's even like just doing it virtually is crazy and jarring, but that was awesome. I loved it. You're going to love this next performer. I've never seen him perform live ever. I'm so excited, not to build it up too much, bud. But this is my coworker and Western New York legendary comedian. Give it up for Jeremy Little.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's great. Thank you for having me. And real quick, yeah, that's perfect. Real quick, if you don't mind, just hop on your phone, follow me on TikTok. My handle is Demi Lovato, spelled regular. This is great to be doing this. It's weird trying to do stand-up comedy in a pandemic because it's not like usually a job that you can do from home. Like it's not like a surgeon where you can go home and practice on your kids. I have a 1-year-old and people usually clap at that, but that's okay. I think the hardest part of having a baby is pulling out your hair every night to build her a nest to sleep in. I like having a baby because once you do, you kind of have to. I go on OnlyFans girls, Amazon wish lists, and I buy myself that shit because I deserve nice stuff too. Curiosity killed the cat, but I'll get him next time. There's a lot of really, really great ways to skin a cat. It's weird that people thought that the Travis Scott burger was the first McDonald's meal named after a celebrity when the McRib is named after Marilyn Manson. I mean, let's talk about pasta salad and mac salad real quick. We all knew I was going to bring it up. How did mac salad get its own spinoff? I think it's just because his best friend is and cheese. You know, in the ads that they say, doctors hate this guy. That's me. I'm the guy. I just go around telling doctors, hey, fuck you, buddy. Here's my impression of filling up a water can, like a watering can. This is my impression of a mob boss with Alzheimer's. Do you know who the fuck I am? I'm like 2.5 years sober. And the night that I got sober, I took an Uber from a bar to a rehab facility, which is the farm to table of cries for help. And if you don't get that joke, go to nicer restaurants. One time I took acid, and I wished I wasn't a fly on the wall. got to be tough being Ringo and the Beatles, you know. You go into the studio, you track your drums, go back in, you listen to it, and it's just drums because all the other Beatles are dead. I know what you're thinking, Jeremy. What about Paul? What about Paul McCartney? The thing about that joke is if you say it backwards, it says Paul is dead. Thanks so much, everyone. Thanks for having me, Seth.
Woo! Woo! Give it up for Jeremy Little, everybody!
Woo!
Oh yeah, lived up to the hype, my dude. I loved it. It was great. Oh my gosh, that was a special treat, mostly for me, but for everybody at home too. Oh man, we are halfway through the show. We have so many more awesome comics left. I'm really pumped for this next one too, actually, because I haven't seen them in a hot minute, maybe 2+ years, maybe even more. Coming to you with the best comedy from the other side of the world, Vietnam. Give it up for Kelso Dowling!
Woo! Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Seth. Yeah, thank you, Seth. I appreciate it. What's up, y'all? Kelso, they, them, alcoholic. Oh. Sorry, wrong Zoom room. I am an alcoholic. Yeah, it really splits the room. People are like, do we cheer for that? Or no, but I am an alcoholic, and sometimes when I'm emotional, I make impulsive decisions. So about 6 months ago, I was moving, and I called my sponsor. I was like, fuck everything. I'm going to move to Ho Chi Minh. And they were like, yeah, we kind of suggest that you don't make any big decisions during your first year of sobriety. We actually suggest that you call and you speak to 2 alcoholics before you make any major life decision. And I was like, cool. What's up, Mom? Hey, Dad. It's okay, they didn't answer. Yeah, my pronouns are they, them. And I do have a lot of people ask me, they'll be like, well, they, them is plural. So are you like 2 people? And I'm like, yes, I am. Are you? Yes, we are. Aren't you? I've been trying to learn some. Sorry, I'm in the middle of a show here. I do live in Vietnam. I've been trying to learn Vietnamese, and there is nothing that questions your intelligence more than learning a tonal language. In Vietnamese, pineapple is dưa, coconut is dưa, and watermelon is dưa. Sounds different to me. Yeah. So my partner and I, we've been practicing a lot. And between the 2 of us, we can order 1 full smoothie. So that's been good. Causes a lot of arguments. We've been arguing. But she's a lesbian, so we don't call it arguing. We call it discussing. We discussed too much, so she's my ex now. And I moved to a new city. I've been using the GPS, and the GPS just kind of started like freaking out on me. It would be like, head southwest, head southwest, head southwest. And I was like, I think I'm heading southwest. And I was pulling up to a spot that said, your destination is on your left. But to my left was a canal. So I was like, Jesus, I'm heartbroken, not suicidal. I did apply to a company a while ago, like a long time ago. I don't know, when you're applying to jobs and you're just like throwing your resume out to fucking anyone. You're like, I could be a surgeon and whatever. I was giving my resume out to these people, and I received an email from this company, and it said, "Dear Kelso, we are writing to inform you that we are canceling your employment portal after 730 days of inactive status." Do you know how underqualified I must have been for this company? They had my resume for 2 years and nothing came up. Janitor, no, like not at all. That's like going on a Tinder date and then getting an email and then being like, yeah, it's not going to work out. I'm like, yeah, no, I got that. Like, jeez. So I applied to this. Quarantine here is a little bit different. We've been kind of in and out. And a couple of weeks ago, we had a quarantine. And I put in my 30 days notice at the job that I worked at, right? So I quit. And then a week later, schools were shut down. So the company emailed us and they said, you know what? We're actually going to pay you 100% for not working. So I sent them an email back and I was like, I changed my mind. They took me back. Unlike my ex. That's fine. I moved and I was posting on some group searches here on Facebook. There's a lot of group recommendations here that you can go in and be like, where's a coffee shop or what have you. So I posted on this group search and I was looking for a gym and I was very specific about the things that I needed. I did the search bar, I did my work. And someone commented on the post and said, well, why don't you just do a Google search and walk around? And I was like, thanks, Angela. And then I was thinking that Angela is just going about her day being like, I really helped someone today. And let's see, I'll go with, my name is Kelso and I like to be called a lot of different names. I was playing that game called Catchphrase or Heads Up. It's when, for those of you who don't know, it's when you hold a word in front of you and you're explaining it to your partner and they have to describe the word to you without using it. So they were like, it's a name that you like to be called. I called it to you last night. And I was like, Prince. And they were like, what? The word was monster. So anyway, my name is Kelso. Thank you so much for listening.
Woo! Go for Kelso, everybody! I lined up Prince, and it worked out perfectly at the end of that set. That was ridiculous. I'm that good. No. Happy accidents happen, and that was a especially happy one. Thank you, Kelso, for tuning in at like 9 a.m. to do this set. That is pure comedy dedication, and so good to see you again. Hell yeah. Let's see, moving along down the line. Oh my gosh. Next comic coming up here also runs a virtual show that I believe is back, right? Yeah, it's back. Awesome. You should definitely check it out. Definitely plug it at the end of your set. And yeah, it's so good to see you again. I love, we got to do comedy together out in DC. It was a blast. So this has been so much fun being able to see you again and hearing from you again online. So keep it going for Hedi Sandberg.
Thank you for having me.
I muted it. There we go. We got some.
Oh, sorry. Did I interrupt myself? Sorry.
Oh, you're good. You're good. Yeah.
What do we have? That okay. Well, I ruined my own intro apparently. So my bad. I was just so excited to tell the jokes that I was like, "Fuck the music." Okay. I'm excited to be here though. Some of you guys might know. I got laid off because of COVID. I used to work in the hotel industry. And I used to be cocky about that shit, right? I was like, I'm so fucking smart. Hotels never close. They're so necessary. I could go to anywhere in the world and I'll have a job because I work in hotels. And then much like my first herpes outbreak, COVID was like, what's up? Bet you didn't see this coming. And I was like, no, no, I didn't. So thank you for ruining my life. It's been awesome. Thank you. So applying for jobs was the worst thing ever. Like I was unemployed for 8.5 months, and that's a long time to be without a job when it's not your choice. Okay. Like for like mentally, I was like, this is terrible. Then I got unemployment and I was like, well, my bank account's going up, so it's not so bad. But it was really awful, terrible time. In December, I got a part-time job. I didn't know what the fuck it was. They were like, you want a part-time job? And I was like, fuck yeah, let's do this shit. It was like the KKK. I had no fucking idea. I just took it. And then 3 weeks ago, they're like, hey, do you want to go full-time? And I was like, yes, I love the KKK. Like, this is awesome, you know? So it's not them. I'm kidding. I don't know what I do. I do like the randomest shit. It's kind of boring. All I know is I have PTO, 401k, and health insurance. So that's all I really care about. Yeah, thank you, Seth, for silently applauding me. I appreciate it. It's nice because now I can like walk across the street without a care in the world, you know, like just like the pre-COVID times we are all looking forward to. So get hit by a bus, you know, I'm stoked about that. I'm excited. But I was sitting at my desk like yesterday actually, and I had this like huge realization come over me. I don't know if this has ever happened to you guys before. I was sitting there online shopping, as you do, and I was like, oh my God, I am so far from achieving my goal of being a housewife. Like, I mean, I don't know if Jillian's still here. Like she mentioned that that's a fucking good ass job. Okay. I would love to be a housewife. That sounds amazing. Are you kidding me right now? Like, but I was so mad because like for me, the past decade, I have been working and worrying about bills like a fucking idiot. What? You're like look in the mirror, you're like, you're so fucking stupid. What is wrong with you? Like that's how I've been feeling the past 24 hours. So it's been really awful. I need to get a husband. And I think women get a little judgmental when I tell the truth about wanting to be a housewife because it's amazing. They're like, no, Hedi, like you're holding us back. Don't say those things. And I'm like, listen, bitch, that glass ceiling is not going to shatter. You can just fall back in line with me and we can stay home and have play dates. I think that's great. I think that's a wonderful idea. Or they'll be like, no, Hedi, this is what you want to do. What you want to do is you want to be independent. You want a fulfilling career. You want to work in STEM. Fuck. I want to work in STEM. Are you kidding me right now? Like, you know what I really want to do? I really want to take my bar class in the middle of the day. I want to take that second 12 in the afternoon class. Who takes 12 in the afternoon workout classes? Who's doing that? I want to do it. That's what I want. And I want my husband to pay for it. Okay. These are my life goals. That's what I really want. So I need a husband. A rich one would be more ideal. But I know like get a husband, apparently you have to like date. That's effort. And I don't like effort, if you can tell. Like, I'm not really into that. When I date, I do prefer to date older men because they die sooner. And I think that's really smart. Every woman should do that. And I actually prefer meeting men out in the wild. So COVID's also just been super shitty for that reason, obviously. Because online dating, it's never been my thing. I don't like it at all. But every now and then I will go on a dating app just to make sure I still hate myself, you know? If we at rock bottom, let's do it. Let's swipe. So I joined Bumble last night is what I'm saying. It's been rough with our realization. It's not going well for me. Yeah, I think men should pay. Men should have to pay for the first few dates. Okay. Yes, Seth, thank you for that head nod. He knows. He knows how to treat a woman. Okay, but this is why, right? Okay, because that shows responsibility. And I find responsibility extremely sexy. I'm like, oh my God, you got a job, you can budget, you can do your own taxes. Like, you know, that's sexy. And I did. I just described my father to a T. Okay, I did. I'm aware though. The therapist and I, we're working on it. That's fine. I did. I went on a date with this guy one time, and when the bill came, the waitress put it on the table, and he goes, "So how should we split this?" And I say, "You should split open your wallet." What? we're not together. I just feel like he wanted an equal partnership, and I am not about that life. No, thank you, sir. I will have no part of that. So, anyways, if anyone's out there who makes six figures and likes tall Jewish women who are a little bit funny, I'd say, who I've done better, but like hit me up on the gram. Oh, and my show, I do have an online show. It's called Pandemic Pleasantries. It's now once a month, so comedians hit me up. It's usually the third Thursday of the month, so we'll be back whatever the third Thursday in May is. So let me know if you guys want to come. And Seth, thank you so much for having me. Always love being part of your show.
Keep it going for Hedi, everybody! Woo!
Pay for my white dress.
Yeah. Spin tunes all night. DJ Tricky Dicky on the 1-2s. Okay. Definitely check out that show. The show's hilarious, and it's so good to see you again. You're gonna find your super rich husband who is 99 years old, and that way it's gonna be lit.
Oh, that is the dream.
You're gonna hire me as the DJ / comedian. I'm gonna do jokes through the whole thing. People are gonna hate it. It's gonna be awesome. We're gonna keep the good times rolling. With our next performer. You've seen him around Chicago and on Schtick before. I always love what he's going to do next. Keep it going for the one, the only, Sam Otter. Oh, yeah. I forgot to play a song. There we go.
Thanks for the R&B. Hi, I'm Sam Otter. Welcome to the coziest stand-up show in Chicago and the world. So I'm excited to be here. Before we start, I'm going to do a couple of riffs that I wanted to do while Seth was hosting and couldn't do. So we're all going to indulge me. We have two comedians here from Asia tonight. Kelso's living in Vietnam, and apparently Jason lives in the DMV. So thank you for keeping peace between the Koreas. Also, Greg, you mentioned that T-Rex have little arms for tickling people during sex. Me too, buddy. All right. I'd also like to read a passage from a book. The dog had a short tail and below its base, 2 large balls. Now, time to do some stand-up comedy. I saw a post on Instagram today. It was a woman, and she was talking about sexism and racism. She was a Black woman that said, "I deserve to be in every room that I'm in." And I was like, wow, that is true. That is beautiful. I wish I deserved to be in any of the rooms I'm in, because I know I'm not. There's been at least one of them, and someone may have died in my neighborhood, but we're going to power through it. There's at least one neighborhood that there's at least one room that I don't deserve to be in. And that room is the library where I saw a man with a face tattoo of a dolphin. I was honored to be in that room, but I didn't deserve to be with him. I just quit therapy because I didn't want to pay money. And my therapist just messaged me and she was like, "Hey, we haven't talked in a while. You come back?" And I want to just be like, "Nope, you did it. You won." And that the end goal is I'm happy. And then I haven't sent that message yet. I think I might just ghost her, which is a problem in itself. All right, let's get down to some jokes. I've never been to a strip club. Is anyone here? Can I get a like just a weird groan if you have? So I've never been, but I think it's because I don't know how I would approach my friends about going. Like, I don't want to go alone because I think I look like I would go alone, and I don't need any more comparisons in my life. But I also don't. I don't know how I'd ask my friends. Come on, city. I don't know how I'd ask my friends. I can only assume that you just say, "Hey, you want to go to a strip club and just get like ridiculously hard together? You want to go just get rock hard boners together and not be able to do anything about it? And then when we say goodbye, we look each other in the eyes and we know we're about to both go jack off within the next half hour. Does that sound good to you? Can we? Okay, I'll see you at the strip club." I saw recently Chicago has been doing a slogan or like a campaign, and the campaign is Know Your Rights, which is good. I think everyone should know their rights, and I think there's people taking advantage of them. But one of them made me laugh, and it said, "If someone at work takes your ID and keeps it, that's not okay. which I was like, I feel like most people know that one, but also it just kind of sounds like there's a fun office bully going around. I've finished all my accounting for the day. And where's my ID, you guys? Seriously, where's my ID? Looking for this, you fucking chode? Yeah, that's right. I got your fucking ID. I think I'm gonna go rent out an apartment and not take very good care of the hardwood. Have fun paying that off, bitch. No, Brian, don't. What if I need to identify myself or prove I'm over 21 to buy alcohol and or cigarettes in Cook County? Should have thought about that before you applied to work at Wells Fargo, bitch. How much time I got left?
You got 1 minute, my dude.
1 minute? All right, that's 30 jokes. So I'll just leave everyone on this. The other day I was watching a documentary because I had the day off and I was like, I need to do something productive, and so I was researching fentanyl. And the documentary had a photo of a penny and it had a little bit of white dust sprinkled on it. You guessed it, fentanyl. And it said, this isn't a fentanyl to kill a fully grown elephant, which to me begs the question, who's giving elephants fentanyl, right? And even more importantly, if we know how much kills them, then why don't we give them a little bit less so that they can have a cool night out with their friends? Am I right, you guys? An elephant never forgets. But am I a bad guy for helping him try? All right. I'm Sunburned. Thank you for listening to me.
Hell yeah, keep it going for Sam Otter. Ooh, man, it sounds like what was that kid's name, Craig? Richard on the playground? Sounds like Richard grows up to be Brian at Wells Fargo. Complete psycho asshole. Screw those guys. Okay, great seeing you again, Sam. Thank you for kind of getting up off the bed. Appreciate it. We've got 2 comics left, and oh my gosh, I cannot wait to see what they're gonna do. Coming to you all the way live from Santa Fe, Arizona. That's in Arizona, right?
New Mexico.
New Mexico. Shit. All right. Close, maybe not. Sorry, I just blew our whole base out there. Keep it going for Erica Geiser, everybody. Woo.
No, it's fun that you don't know anything about New Mexico, Seth, because I feel like a lot of people don't. One of my favorite things is regionalisms, and so in Chicago, you'll get like a lot of ads about like, just like you guys don't like your ketchup on hot dogs, we don't like blah blah blah, buy our product. Or like in Texas, there's like, you know, those reusable bags you can get at the grocery store, and it's like reduce the size of your boot print, and it's just like really pandering to the region. But there's like nothing like that in New Mexico. They're just like, oh yeah, you guys are people, and we're not going to make broad assumptions about who you are based on where you live. It's interesting. There's a lot of things I like about being here. The thing that charmed me immediately was I went to the grocery store, first trip, right away. The person checking me out told me a conspiracy theory, which is that the mountains around here are hollow and that there are government labs in them, which I really like because I lived in Chicago for a while, and Chicago has your like run-of-the-mill public corruption. Like politicians will say something and then you'll be like, wait a second, that's a lie. And they'll be like, oh, you got me. Oh, okay, next time. But here, like the government's like, we're not here. What government? Where do you think you are? The United States of America? No, you don't even have regionalisms here. No, don't even look at the skyline. There's nothing there. But I think that like, if you work in a hollow mountain, you have to know that what you're doing is not good, right? Like, it doesn't even matter like what your job is really. Like, you could be like, whoa, wait a second. Like, I was just doing paperwork. And it's like, yeah, but when you showed up to work every day, did you go inside of a hollow mountain to do your paperwork? Was your building a mountain that was hollow. That's a war crime. What you were doing was a war crime. I don't know if anybody watches the Oscars, but they were last Sunday, and people of color swept this year. To be fair, people of color sweep every year, but this year they won a bunch of awards, which is what I meant. So round of applause for all of those people. Very proud. There's a little controversy because they were held at Union Station this year. And there's a big homeless population that lives around there. And, all of these like rich people in their gowns and tuxedos, displace them to give themselves awards. And I think that's kind of shitty, but it made me realize that rich people deal with homeless people the same way I deal with my mental health problems. I'm like, what if you just go away? What if you just leave? Wouldn't that be nice? Like, I know that like, if you're out of sight, it doesn't mean like we've solved the problem or anything like that. But like, I don't know, this is like a lot of valuable real estate here. And you're really making me uncomfortable just knowing that you're around. Just at least one night. It's a very important night. I think I might meet Angelina Jolie tonight. So please. So I was talking to this person recently, and when somebody is about to tell you a really bad business idea, they tell you you're not allowed to do it yourself. They like make you swear you won't do this. It's never like, actually, I want to open a dry cleaning chain in an area where they've just built a lot of new businesses and high-rise buildings. It's like, actually, it's so this person told me about their idea, and I swore I wouldn't do it, but I did not swear that I wouldn't tell the internet about it. So this is a freebie for you guys if you want to do it. But it's an app where you take a picture of a cloud and you post it, and other people guess what the cloud looks like. And so obviously I like really made fun of this person about it. But recently I took a picture of a cloud and I sent it to my friend and asked her what she thought it was. And it was really fun. But I think what I was missing the first time that I heard the idea is that the fun part about it is telling someone they're wrong about what a cloud looks like. Like there's like a right answer and you're like, no, actually it's not a dolphin. This cloud is clearly a bird. But if you guys want to make that idea, I'm just saying, make the downvote feature before you make the upvote feature. Okay. So the pandemic is coming to an end. And I'm excited, but I'm not ready. And okay, I don't want it to last forever, but I just want maybe 2 or 3 more 9/11s worth of pandemic just to wrap up my projects. You know what I mean? No, but it's funny to me that like the media for a while was telling us about the pandemic in terms of 9/11s. Like that was like a unit of measurement. Like it's one 9/11 every day. And I feel like it's not useful. Nobody knows how many people died on 9/11. People know where they were on 9/11, but nobody like, that's not like the detail about it that like sticks with people. But I did look it up. And so as of this morning, we have had 197 9/11s in terms of deaths. And I guess 198 if you include 9/11. And it's just funny to me, like the idea of like this being broadcast on American news networks and being picked up in other countries and then maybe having to translate it to their own national tragedy. So I looked it up for what's the equivalent bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. You guys, this is bad. It's only 2.5.
Oh my God.
What did we do to Japan? That's terrible. But yeah, I do like the idea of like even after the pandemic being like the unit of one 9 or several 9/11s as like a measurement tool. Like whenever I fly again, I'll probably be like groaning to my friend about it, being like, oh, I'm so tired. I had 2 layovers. It was a whole 9/11, 3 planes. People forget about the 3rd plane, but it's, yeah. But yeah, no, I don't want to bring everybody down. There have been a lot of deaths and it's awful, and we're almost through it. And I do think that there have been some nice moments that people have had. I know that I've had some like beautiful moments during the pandemic. I know anecdotally from my friends that they have. So, like you can unmute yourselves or talk in the chat or whatever, but just speak up if you've had any of these moments of joy. Like make noise if you've, during the pandemic, made a new friend. Yeah. Okay. Make noise if in the pandemic you've gone on a good date, maybe something you wouldn't have done before.
Woo.
Okay. Make noise if you've in the pandemic traveled to a new place, even you did it safely, but you traveled to a new place.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I wrote down your names and I'm going to report you to the CDC. Thank you. That's my time.
Yeah, keep it going for Erica, everybody.
Loving is easy. You have me fucked up. It used to be so.
Oh man, so great seeing Erica again. We used to go to crowded areas a lot before the pandemic for concerts and comedy. Yeah, definitely. You got me there, so you got my name down. No secret. Yeah, oh my gosh. I feel like every show, maybe not every show, but most shows the past like 2 years, and maybe other stand-up comedians can attest to this, there's always somebody who does a 9/11 joke at like an open mic or at a show. But no one has done a Japan catastrophe joke like that before. It completely leveled me, much like we did to Japan. Jesus Christ. Thank you for talking about that though, because that is insane. Yeah, people should talk about that more. Hey, with that crazy energy, oh man, I love you. Let's give it up for our headliner of the evening. She's amazing. I miss seeing her in person as well. We've had her on Schtick, I think like a couple times in the past. So it's so great to have her back again. Give it up for the one, the only, Tatum Hunter.
Hey, everybody. Sorry, I talked too soon. So my fun fact is that I'm currently drinking a PBR with hot sauce poured in the lid.
Ooh.
All right, I'm gonna play some piano, play a song on piano tonight, and it's about I made a really horrible mistake recently, and making mistakes can be really painful and really hard, especially when they're in your personal life. But I think that they're even harder when you make mistakes in your professional life. So that's what I wrote this song about. No one said that life would be easy. Gotta hustle and scrap to get by. I knew fate could turn on me quickly. One mistake, it can ruin your life. I thought that I'd be smart enough to not walk right into a trap, but obviously that isn't true at all, 'cause I put some personality into a cover letter. I put some personality into a cover letter. They want to see if candidates are dumb enough to do that, and I was. I know work is meant to be earnest. Being honest is not what they want. But what if my boss asked me directly to give some feedback on what he can improve on? Maybe if my boss asked me to talk, then it's okay to do it. So I take a breath and tell the truth, 'cause I am super stupid. I gave my boss some feedback on stuff that he could do better. I thought that it'd be cute and smart to just answer the question. He didn't want the feedback, and I probably should have guessed that, but I didn't, but I didn't, but I didn't. Every Wednesday we have a team lunch hour. On a Zoom call, our faces in squares. As I'm taking a bite of my sandwich, somebody asks me, Tatum, how's your week been? Bitch, where do you get off to sit there asking me that question? I've talked out loud at work before and it did not go awesome. I'm choosing my words carefully because I've learned my lesson. Thanks for asking, Kelsey. I heard my neighbors having sex last night. Sorry, I heard my neighbors having a threesome last night. And it just like, it kind of got me thinking because you know, like, I'm like, should me and my partner be having sex more often? But it's hard because we communicate really differently. You know, so and I don't want to bring it up and come off as anxious because sometimes I feel really insecure, you know, that he'd be happier with somebody less anxious than me. So it's incredibly complex, you know, and I'm thinking about medication, but you know, medication's a whole thing, and you know, you Google it and you don't really get a lot of straight answers. So, but I guess we'll all find out because I'm starting it. So I'll make sure to keep you in the loop. Thank you for asking. Or something really neutral like that. Thanks. All right, Seth, do I have any more time?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah? Okay, I'm gonna play one more song I haven't played in forever. So if I forget any of the chords, don't be mad at me. This song is, I grew up in church. I don't know if anybody else grew up in church a lot, but one thing when I think back on that experience is like a prevailing emotion. You talk about Satan a lot in evangelical church, and I often kind of catch myself feeling bad for him. Like when he's in the garden and he's a little slithery snake. Or when, you know, the preacher says that the devil is a liar, and I'm like, yeah, what is he running from? So I wrote this song about that. Hey, Satan, I don't say this very often, but I think I understand you more than other women do. Hey, Satan, I think you sabotage yourself now, and I think you hurt people because long ago someone hurt you. I want you all to know that he is actually pretty cool when it's just the two of us. Hey, Satan, all my friends are so suspicious, and they all think it's weird how for your birthday you asked me to kill the Pope. And I tell them everybody has their issues, and part of loving someone Thank you.
Yeah. Let me play some music. There we go.
Don't change a single little thing for me. Listen, girl, when you can't.
Oh my gosh. What an evening, you guys. Again, Tatum, holy cow, that was awesome. So good to hear you and see you again. Really fun stuff. Oh my gosh, we ended on a crazy, dare I say, high note. All right. That was corny, and that's exactly how I end this thing. Thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. We do this every month. Hopefully we'll be able to do it in person again, both in DC and Chicago. Who knows where else? We'll see what happens. But yeah, in the meantime, if you are a comic who's tuned in tonight, or if you're one of the comics here, you want to do this again, you let me know. Hit me up at Schtick Chicago on Facebook, as well as on Instagram. We got an Instagram account. We'll be back next month, the last Tuesday of next month, with even more comics virtually until we can do it in person. But in the meantime, if you can donate anything to Annoyance Theatre, they appreciate it. And hopefully get to see you guys all in person soon and give you big old hugs. Okay. I love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a wonderful evening. I'm not Tatum Hunter. There we go. You have a great evening. Get home safe and be nice to each other and be safe. Okay. Bye.
All right. Thanks, Seth.
Yeah. Thank you all. All right. Let's see. There we go. Bye.